So inshallah we'll go ahead and start. So we will do inshallah two ayats today, 137 and 138 of Surah AlBaqarah. These ayats are still about Bani Israel. And in one of the previous ayats, Bani Israel, the Jews said something to the believing people, the Muslims who had believed in Medina. They made a statement and they said that if you become Jews or Christian, then you will be guided. That is what they said to the Muslims, that if you become Jews or Christian, you will be guided. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in response said few things about what the fact is. And then after that, this is a continuation of those ayats. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is replying them, is telling the believing Muslims to say something which is the totally opposite of what Jews said. Jews said that if you become Jew, you will be guided. In this ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the Muslims should say that no, if you believe what we believed in, then you will be guided. Just the opposite statement. Okay? So we will do a simple translation here. Fa'in amanu. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The ayat starts with Fa'in amanu. Then if they believed means if the Jews believed. Bimisli, likewise, same as Ma amantum, in that which you have believed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to the Muslims that the way you have believed, the same way if Jews and Christians believed, فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا, then they are guided. Then they will be guided. These Jews and Christians will get the guidance. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, and if they turned away, after listening to the message of the Quran, if they turn away, فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا فَإِنَّمَا هُمْ فِي شِقَاقٍ, then only they are being in a way that they want to split. They want to be away. They want to be in dissension or divided or separated. Okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَسَيَكْفِيكُهُمُ اللَّهُ. And this is a big word, but when we break down, it will be very simple. Allah says that Allah will be sufficient. Allah will be enough for you against them. Allah will be enough or sufficient for you against them, against the Jews and the Christians. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ, and He is the one who hears everything and who knows everything. As-Sami and Al-Alim. Then in the next ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word Sibghatallah. Sibgha or Sibghatul means color. Okay? Now color here is interpreted as the religion. So Allah says Sibghatallah, color of Allah, means the color of Allah, means the religion of Allah. The truth, Islam, is being mentioned as the color of Allah. So the interpretation is that Allah says, take the religion of Allah. Accept the color of Allah means accept the religion of Allah. And then Allah says, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ, and whose is better? مِنَ اللَّهِ سِبْغَةً, than the color of Allah. Whose religion is better than the religion of Allah? Okay? وَنَحْنُ لَهُ عَابِدُونَ, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to the believing people, Muslims, say, we, nahnu means we, lahu abidun, we are the worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So this is the meaning of that. Okay? So now let's look at the words here. The ayat starts, fa'in which is made of two parts, fa and in. Fa means so, and in means if. So if. Fa in means so if. Okay. Then the next word starts with these root letters alif, mim, and noon. Okay. This means to have peace. Aman, we know Aman means peace. Okay. And these are three letters. So they belong to the group of the word which is called fa'ala. Now if we put an extra alif here, this becomes af'ala. Okay. This word becomes alif, mim and noon. We have just added one more alif in the beginning. So the meaning changes. The meaning becomes to believe. And we pronounce this as amana. This is amana because it has only one alif. There are two alifs in this word, so we pronounce as amana. Stretch, amana. Okay, it means to believe. Now these two alifs can also be written as one hamza and one alif. Amana is the same way of writing in Arabic. Two alifs can be written as one hamza and one alif. Amana. Okay. Amana means to believe. Okay. So if we write down this together, mana like this, with the fathas on all of them, this means he believed. Amana means he believed. Third person, past tense. He believed. If a third person past tense is, he believed. Okay? And if we make a plural of this, plural is made by putting a waw at the end. So this will become manu. Amanu means they believed. Amanu means they believed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that فَإِنْ آمَنُوا if they believed. Okay? And here they are Christians and Jews. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying فَإِنْ آمَنُوا, so if they believed. So if they believed. Okay? Means if the Christian and Jews believed. Okay? Okay? Then the word is bimithli. Bi and mithli. This word meme, this mithli is from the word meme, sa and lam. And we know the word mithal, example. Okay? Same, likewise. Okay? So the mithli means same, and B can be translated as, same as, or like as. The mithli means same as. same as. Okay. Then the word after that is ma. Ma has meanings. One of those is whatever or that which. There are many meanings, but one that fits here is that which. Ma also means whatever and that which. Now, from the table that we usually refer here, if you have these three letters, fa, and lam, this means to do. Okay. And if we put a tum at the end of these three letters and sound like fa'altum, fa'altum, this becomes the grammar of second person plural. This means you did.
Singular would be fa'alta.
Fa'alta means you, one person did. Plural is fa'altum. Okay? Which is basically here number 4. Fa'altum, we just put tum at the end and pronounce as fa'altum. It becomes the past tense and second person you, plural. You did. Okay? So the word we just learned was amana. Okay? It means believe, to believe, right? So if we did the same thing, man and tum. Amantum. Just put a tum at the end and sound the same way. That will mean you believed. You did, you believed. Okay, so amantum is the word there in the Quran, which means you believed. And you here is the Muslims. Okay? So you believed. So here you is pointing to Muslims. And they here is pointing to Jews and Christians. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if they believed, like Jews and Christians believed, same as that which you Muslims have believed. You have believed means Muslims have believed. So whatever Muslims believe in the Quran and in one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in the Day of Judgment and the last prophet, then if they also believed the same way you have believed, if that happens, then Allah says, Bihi faqad ihtadaw. Let's look at those words. The first one is be and he. Okay, the word is be and who. Who means it and be means in. When you write them together, you pronounce as bihi. Instead of pronouncing bihu, we pronounce bihi. Meaning does not change, only the pronunciation changes, to make it easy on the tongue to speak. So bihi means in it or in that. What is in it? The religion. in it means the religion. Okay. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if that happens, that they believe in it the same thing that you have believed, then the result will be فَقَدِ اهْتَدَوْا. Okay, so let's look at those two words.
It's missing a zabar. Dal ke ऊपर. Tadaw.
Oh yeah. Fatha.
Fatha.
Fatha was missing.
This one here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this first word is fa, and the second one is qad. Fa has meaning so or then. So here we are going to use then. Okay. Qad. Qad means surely or indeed. So qad means surely. And qad always used for the past tense. Okay. When something we are talking about the past tense, then qad is used to bring the meaning of surely or certainly or indeed or positively. Okay? Surely. Then the next word is ha, dal and ya. Okay? And this means to guide.
You're talking about the root word for faqade tada.
No, this is a word. This is not a root. This is just a word.
Okay.
Qad is just a word.
Right.
It doesn't have any grammar.
No,
It
the
just
other
means
one.
surely.
To guide. Where did
Yeah,
you-
these are the root letters.
Yeah. For which word you did?
I'm coming to that
Okay.
word. Okay?
Okay.
Coming to that word. Okay? Now these are three letters. So they belong to a bab called Bab al-Fa'ala. Okay? Now from this simple group or bab, we make a bigger word, complex word. And one of those is that we put an alif and we put a ta, these two letters. And the way we put is that after alif we leave the f, fa there, and ain there and lam there. This is one way of making a bigger word. Okay? We just add two letters in there. Alif in the beginning. Then after the second letter, fa, we add a ta there. And then an and lam are there. Okay? So this is called ifta'ala. Okay? So if I do the same thing here, okay, this will become alif and ta, and these letters are there. Ha, dal and ya. Okay? So this will become ihtada. Okay? So the grammar is that if ta'ala. These are the spellings or the harakat. So this becomes ihtadaya. Ihtada means to give guidance or to be guided. To be guided. Okay? Now I can combine and write down this way. Ihtada. This is kasra, ifta'ala. So this becomes ihtada. Ihtada means to be guided. So this is the word. Ihtada means to be guided. Now, if we remember that, if we have fa'ala, and if just we put a waw at the end, fa'ala, and when we put a waw at the end, it means they did. So just by putting the waw at the end with an alif which is not read, the meaning becomes they and past tense. Okay, which is the table here, number 2. Just by adding a waw at the end, fa'alu, it becomes they did. Okay, so that is the rule of the grammar, that when you add a waw at the end and an extra alif which you don't read, the word becomes fa'alu, fa'ala, fa'alu, means they did. So if I put a waw at the end, instead of this will drop, so it becomes ihtadu, which is the word here. Ihtadaw. Ihtadaw means they are guided. Ihtadaw means they are guided. Ihtada means to be guided, and by putting a waw it becomes the past tense and they. So they are guided. So faqad ihtadu. Ihtadaw, not tadu. Ihtadaw. They are guided. Now, faqad means surely, then surely, and if you read it together, then you can combine dal with this ha. You don't have to recite alif. So it becomes faqa dihtadu. And this alif becomes hamzatul wasal, and you put a little swad on it instead of this thing. Okay? So the meaning will be, then surely they are guided. If Jews and Christians believe the same way you Muslims have believed in, then they are guided. This is a reply of the previous ayat where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Jews and Christians said, وَقَالُوا كُونُوا هُدًا أَوْ نَصَارَى تَهْتَدُوا. We studied this ayat 2 weeks ago. وَقَالُوا, and they said, the Jews and Christians said, كُونُوا, become, هُدًا أَوْ نَصَارَى, Jews or Christian, تَهْتَدُوا, you will be guided. They said the same thing to Muslims, that if you become Jews and Christians, then you will be guided. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching Muslims here how to reply to them.